breakfast time. Now this is something that needs to get done pretty dang quick, and that's the pole barn. As you can see down here, it's got to be filled in with a lot of soil. And right now, I don't know how much you can see inside there, there's a lot of my other stuff stacked up on some shelving Paul built. And it's good for now, you know, to keep everything up and off the ground and whatever. But we really need this pole barn done. And then back over in here, we need to build a retaining wall. Well, especially because the soil for the pole barn is going to come from around this area. And we're going to be making, eventually, I'm not sure when, let's span over here. This area right in here, we're going to flatten this out a bit so it's easier to park. If you can see down there, I have my Jeep over there, because parking on an angle up here makes it difficult for me to get out of the vehicle, especially if I'm carrying stuff. And there's the generator. As you can see, it's running. Normally every day before Paul leaves, somewhere between 6:30 and 7, he'll get the generator going, because right now we have some really good batteries, but we only have one solar panel and it's not very big. So we kind of help to juice up the batteries that way, and I shut it off around 10 or so in the morning. We still are getting a lot of sun right now, so that's great. But the days are getting shorter, and so we're hoping to get a couple of bigger panels next month, which is October. Not too far off, actually. But, you know, I just conserve power during the day, and we're fine without the generator after, you know, 10 o'clock in the morning. There are occasions when we do have to run it a little bit at night, and I'm thinking that's more because that's when Paul's home, and the freezer kicks in a little bit more if we're going in and out getting ice or whatever. And also the Wi-Fi box. That thing sucks a lot of energy, and I can't say exactly how much, but it heats up pretty quick. And so if I have to do computer work, or Paul's sitting on his phone or whatever, and our data isn't working that great on our phones, then we make sure to have the Wi-Fi plugged in. Also in the morning, I put out all my solar stuff. So those are a couple of the little solar lanterns. I went over those in a video for off-grid lighting. I'll put a link to that down in the description box if you want to check it out. But then I also have one of my battery chargers out here, and right now it's charging D batteries for my lantern that takes batteries. Now that lantern takes 4 batteries, so I can only do 2 at a time in this particular charger, but that's okay because I don't use that lantern too often. And right now it's not very sunny, but you can see here it's telling you how long it's going to take to charge them based on the sun. So maybe once these clouds disappear, it'll go up a little more. So in the morning is also when I will charge my laptop and, you know, whatever else needs it. But, you know, our phones and stuff that also need charging don't take much, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, if my phone needs it charging, then I will. But you can see the vacuum here. That's also when I'll vacuum. I'll do, you know, the most power-heavy activities or whatever when the generator is going. And it doesn't take long to charge up the laptop or to get this little cabin vacuumed up, so you know, it's all good. And here's our Berkey. I did a video on it, a video review some time ago. It's a Royal Berkey, so it holds up to 3 gallons. We've been using this thing pretty much non-stop since we got here. We put rainwater in it, and then we use that water for drinking, for cooking, for our coffee, and to make ice cubes. Paul uses a lot of ice cubes. But anyhow, it has been a real lifesaver, and I would recommend one to you know, anybody that's ever thinking of getting one. And yeah, look in the description box. I'll put a link to where I got mine. Now, doing dishes has been an experiment for me because I have had to learn to do them differently than how I always have. Most of my life I had a double sink, and as you can see, this is one giant one, and I would just fill up one side of the sink with soapy water, let my dishes sit for a little while, and then start washing. Or if I had a bigger sink like this, I would use a dishpan. Well, neither one of those methods really works here, especially because I need to watch my water consumption. So now what I do is I get all my dishes wet. I just rinse them, you know, real quick, and then I use this thing. Now, I've never used one of these before, and I got to change the head. This one's looking kind of gross. But I get it wet, and then, you know, just disperse a little bit of soap, and I clean everything at one time, and then I will rinse it all, and it goes straight over there into the strainer. Because we use rainwater for the dishes. And hang on, I'll show you the setup. So in that blue barrel is our rainwater. We bring it in right now through these 2 buckets. Paul is going to be setting up a pumping system, but I'm not sure how that's all going to work, because right now the rain barrels are on the front deck in front of the house, but they're going to be being moved over to the pole barn. We're going to get more of them, and the pole barn has a steel roof, and we figured it would just be better over there to have it done. Well, anyways, there's a little bit of filtering going on outside, so there's not like debris or whatever in the water, and then we just clean it. We use a little bit of bleach to sanitize it, and it goes up into here where our hot water on demand system is. And we also use this water for our showers. And let me tell you, if you use rainwater on your hair, you're not going to need conditioner anymore. I've used conditioner pretty much all my life because otherwise I can't get a comb through it. But the rainwater has really negated the use of that. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you may not seem too interesting, but it will be once it's done. This is a wall. If I back up a little bit, you can see this is kind of stuff that still needs to be unpacked. In fact, I think in here is a bunch of my shoes. Here's the front door, but this is right here is where Paula's going to be cutting out a door, because that's going out to like a big closet. And in there we're going to be storing our extra water along with our clothes and a bunch of other stuff that just needs to go in there kind of as a way of storage. So that will help out a lot once that's done. So I hope you like the day in a life so far in our off-grid cabin. Thanks for watching. Oh, and make sure to check us out on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook. Links are always down in the description box. It was nice talking to you. You take care.